Picked by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way back the baby to sleep.
Until morning. Ewing.
Oh, wow. Oh.
He's going to try to get one more shot off for him. Push the buzzer.
How about that?
Steps over Teron Lowe. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's get ready to rumble! Hey guys, welcome. It is WrestleMania week here on Boom Broadcasting. Just excited about it for the whole crew going on. Not only do we have the NBA playoffs, but I got to give a shout out to all of our content providers that are going crazy right now over the WrestleMania weekend coming up here. So you guys got to check it out. If you're into wrestling, this is the place to be. We have a lot of content providers that are dropping some great stuff to represent this weekend's festivities. So you got to check out today. Drop the Mic. My man, Mr. Michael Davis, just dropped that at noon, talking about Saturday's events. Then tomorrow, 3 o'clock, you got another one coming in. They're going to talk about Saturday and Sunday. And then Saturday and Sunday at 4:30, they're doing pre-show festivities. So join Boom Broadcasting live before WrestleMania. We're going to talk about everything that's going on, from the matches to the excitement, probably some throwback stuff. So you cannot miss it, guys. Please jump, like, subscribe, jump on Boom Broadcasting. Everybody is hyped up for WrestleMania right now. I'm hyped up for that, and I'm also hyped up because it is the NBA playoffs. We are finally here. Thank you all very much for joining me. I'm Jason Colenso here from 3 from Deep. So without further ado, let's jump into some of the games. We had our play-in games last night. First, let's talk about that Golden State Warriors Memphis Grizzlies game. Golden State pulled it out, 121-116. It was a interesting game. We had some great plays in that game. Ja came up a little bit short, but who didn't would be one Steph Curry and one playoff Jimmy Butler. We had Mr. Playoff Jimmy Butler show up last night because essentially this was a playoff game. They needed to win this game. I think Golden State, with getting knocked back to the 7th seed and a lot of the criticism that they received, Draymond Green saying they're not retired yet. So they definitely needed this win. Man, what we got here? Steph, 37 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 for 13 from 3-point, 46%. Hit a couple of late threes to seal the deal. That's what champions do. That's what Steph Curry has been doing for his whole career right now. So definitely a great win for him. Playoff Jimmy, I am impressed. I was wondering if you were going to show up. Coming out of Miami, you had some good games. When you first started out, you were happy, signed a contract, smiling Jimmy playing basketball, and then you kind of fizzled out a little bit. It just disappeared. And then, the Golden State Warriors had some bad losses in there. And again, went from like the 5th seed, 6th seed, floating around there, dropped all the way to the 7th to get to this play-in. So, but playoff Jimmy, 38 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. That's what Golden State wanted from one Jimmy Butler. You got Draymond Green chipped in 4 points, but man, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. 10 assists from Mr. Draymond Green. So, and the bench was very, very important for Golden State. Post dropped 11 and 5. Peyton II, 12 points. That was needed and impressive, and they needed that win. I think not only to kind of stay alive, but to kind of for their feelings, man. They just, I think their feelings were hurt. People wrote them off, falling back to that 7th place. I think they doubted themselves. So this was a great win for Golden State. Now they get the 2nd place Rockets, which we'll talk about that on our Saturday show. I got a huge show coming up Saturday, so you guys got to join me then. I'll have some special guests. I'll have a lot going on because we're just going to break down all the playoffs. So right now, really just talking about the play-in games. But the Grizzlies, they got 30 points from Desmond Bane, 18 points from Jaren Jackson Jr., only 22 points from Ja. 22, 3 and 3. 1 for 3 from 3-point range. I know he twisted his ankle there at one point, but kind of shook it off a little bit. Had the old off the backboard, get the ball back, little layup there. He had a nice little highlight. But Ja really needed to show up in this game. He's been taking a lot of heat. He's been taking a lot of criticism, with some of the things he's done. Losing their coach this year. I mean, they let Taylor Jenkins go, and then after that happened, Ja starts doing the finger pointing and now the grenade thing, and now he's a meme all over the place because now people are making all kinds of funny memes about different gun-related celebrations. So, and that's not what you want, man. That's not what superstars are about. Steph Curry shows what a superstar should be. Showing up when you need to, putting on a historic performance. Ja, 22 points, that's okay for a Tuesday night game in December. This was a play-in tournament playoffs, playing for a chance. And you kind of blew it. I was a little disappointed. He's probably one of the most exciting players out there, but this performance was very disappointing. Didn't get much help either from the bench. Edie, 14 and 17, who's going to turn out to be a really good player, but just not a lot there yet. Still young, still developing. Pippen Jr., 9 points. Aldima, 14 and 8. So, he got some help, but not a lot. Ja, 9 for 18 shooting. That's not going to get it done, dude. You are supposed to be Ja Morant. You are supposed to be in the top 5 conversation with an Anthony Edwards and a Luka Doncic and a Jason Tatum. Where are you? You disappeared. Now the Grizzlies on life support, playing the 9-10 winner, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. This was a good game for Golden State. They needed it. A great game for Jimmy Butler. I think he needed that for his confidence to show he's still playoff Jimmy. When he needs to turn it on, he can turn it on. But man, Ja, where you at? The Grizzlies had such a good season going. 4th in the West, dropped all the way to 8th, fired their coach for who knows what. He didn't get along with Ja. I really haven't heard some of the other reasons. Tomas Eliso, their interim coach, he was not going to be able to outcoach Steve Kerr, one of the best coaches in NBA right now, and probably one of the best coaches of all time in that mix for some of the things that he's done with that Golden State Warrior squad. But man, Grizzlies fighting for your life, playing the 9-10 winner. I don't have you getting past it. Whoever wins that 9-10 game, I just don't see the Grizz doing it. This is a very disappointing lost season for the Memphis Grizzlies as an organization. Ja Morant, you're on notice because I don't think you're going to be a Grizzly next year. I think Ja Morant is gone from Memphis. That performance And depending what he does on Friday night is going to dictate what happens to him in the offseason. Because it's hard to give somebody max money when you're clowning and you can't win and you don't show up. So, disappointing. But we'll move on to the next playing game we had. The early game, Orlando Magic dismantles the Atlanta Hawks, 120-95. I don't think it was really that close. Trae Young, 28, 2 and 6, but ended up getting tossed with about 4 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Did a little nutmeg move and then just playing with the ball. You could see his frustration, which is odd because you don't really see that from Trae Young. But I understand because he did not have really any help on that Hawks team. I'm even surprised that the Hawks made it into the play-in tournament with kind of that squad. But Orlando Magic, man, again, I am impressed by this team. Franz Wagner, 13, 13, and 3. Paulo Blanchero, 17, 9, and 7. Wendell Carter Jr., 19, 7, and 2. Anthony Black showing up, 16, 4, and 4. And Cole Anthony showing up big time. Cole Anthony, 26, 3, and 6. Averages 9.4 points per game, drops 26. That's what you're supposed to do during the playoffs as a team. Spread the wealth, play ball, and then the guys that normally don't do a lot step up, and you have somebody that does that. So Cole Anthony, shout out. Great performance and a big win for Orlando. You now get to go play the Boston Celtics, and we'll talk about that. The Hawks drop down. You play the 9-10 winner. But in the East, that 9-10 winner, and we'll talk about that, I don't think the Hawks have a chance. You have Trae Young and really nobody else. And Trae Young looks frustrated and tired, very disappointed. And usually he plays with his head on his shoulders. He plays with a little more fire. But he looked a little beat up in that game last night. But Orlando, I had you at the beginning of the year as my sleeper team. If Paulo doesn't get hurt, if Franz Wagner doesn't get hurt this year, I think Orlando they're not in the play-in tournament. I think Orlando would have been a higher seed. But Celtics, I don't know if Orlando really has a chance with the Celtics. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Celtics, Orlando's not going to be an easy out. They got a good young squad down there, man. They got some guys that can ball. And if they get production off of their bench and off of their deep guys, that's going to be interesting to see. So, starting off the playoffs great with 2 good games. I did pick them. Check the tape. On Monday, I did pick Orlando, and I did pick Golden State. So I'm going to hang my hat on that here for a little bit because usually picking winners, I'm not that good. That's why I don't gamble because, sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes not so good. But I ended up picking those guys. So, but now we jump into tonight's game. So this is the 9-10 games. This is the do or die. It's win or go home for either one of these out of the 4 squads. So we'll start first here in the East. You got the Heat, number 10, versus the Bulls, number 9. This is going to be an interesting game because poor Bulls. Just when you thought they were on fire and looking good with Giddey and White, Giddey's hurt. No Lonzo Ball. Trey Jones still in a walking boot. That's not good. Heat had a lot to overcome this year. Not a lot of expectations, but definitely playing under what they normally do. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, the rest of that squad, Wiggs. I think they really just had a rough season, man. I think the Jimmy Butler drama really sucked the life out of them. Look, Eric Spoelstra is not a bad coach. In fact, I think he's one of the most underrated coaches in the NBA right now. For what he has done with the Miami Heat, even after LeBron and Dwayne Wade and everybody, Chris Bosh left. So shout out Eric Spoelstra. Coach Spo, getting through the Jimmy Butler drama really hurt them a lot. But now you have a chance to make it up. But Bulls, man, with no Giddey, man, Giddey was torching the Heat. Bulls beat them 3-0 this year. The 3 times they've met them, they beat them. Giddey would average a triple-double against them, 26, 10, and 10. Shot 58% against the Miami Heat. There's a small chance, there's a very, very slim chance that he may go. There's a very slim chance Trey Jones might be able to get out of the boot, but I don't see any of those guys playing, and I think that hurts the Bulls. That's too much to overcome. Injuries, especially to some of your main guys, is a lot to overcome. Tyler Hero, this is your game. The Miami Heat have kept Tyler Hero on this team. There's been a ton of teams out there that wanted to trade for him, and Miami's like, no, we're not trading Tyler Hero. No, he is the future. No, he is a baller. This is it. Bam, we know you can play. Wiggins, you got a chip. We know you can play. But Tyler Hero, in the expectations behind you, these are the games you have to show up and drop 30 and take over the game and be what the Miami Heat wants you to be. And they want you to be the face of the franchise right now. That franchise is hurting without Jimmy Butler. Dwayne Wade ain't coming through the door. You got the fugly-looking statue sitting outside. LeBron James ain't coming back. Chris Bosh ain't coming back. Tyler Hero, this is your game to win. And you cannot let a beat-up, hurt Bulls team beat you. So if you can win, you go against the Hawks. I think the Heat have enough to beat the Bulls and the Hawks. I think the Heat can make it through and get to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I really do. They have the personnel. They have the coach. They just need to show it and do it. And Tyler Hero needs to be the reason. I need a hero. I'll start singing now. But he needs to be the one. And that's what I'm looking for when I watch this game. Hero averaging 24.7, 6 rebounds, 6.3 assists. Adebayo, 21, almost 7 rebounds a game. They need to hit that and more. I need to see Tyler Hero drop 30 plus. He needs to be the alpha dog in this game and prove that he is that next dude. So I got Heat winning this game. I have the Heat going in and beating the Hawks because I just think the Hawks don't have enough. Trae Young looks disenfranchised. I would not be surprised to see here, unless the Hawks do something, I wouldn't be surprised to see Trae Young wanting to be traded next year and get out of Atlanta. I would not be surprised at all. But I got the Heat in this game. And then the late game, we got the number 9 Kings against the number 10 Mavs. Those Mavericks. Oh, those poor Mavericks and those poor Mavericks fans. Kings got rid of their coach this year, too, 31 games into the season. Got rid of Mike Brown. Got Doug Christie. Doug Christie's been leading them. So another interim coach. This seems to be a theme right now because you've got 3 other teams. You got the Grizzlies, and then you've got the Nuggets, all with like an interim coach trying to get through the playoffs. Guys, I'll tell you right now, it is hard to get through the playoffs as it is, let alone having somebody that's either never been there before or never even had the experience of being there before. So, but man, what a year. What a difference a year makes for those Dallas Mavericks. We look back. Last year, this time, Dallas Mavericks are just torching through the playoffs. They got Luka Doncic, and they make it to the NBA Finals. This year, no Luka, no Kyrie. You have a so-so AD and a bunch of other guys. You got Dinwiddie, Clay, Christie. Clay, are you going to show up? I know you're missing, man. I bet you are missing Golden State right now. Although I'd love to have you in New York. There's time to get out of Dallas next year. This game's going to be tough because these are two just, struggling teams. Kings, I thought more. I don't know why they traded De'Aaron Fox. But, they didn't get worse. Zach LaVine is no slouch. I'm thinking of Arvydas Sabonis. I'm thinking of your dad, buddy. Domantas Sabonis. DeMar DeRozan. Jonas Valanciunas. So they have a good team there in Sacramento, just falling short. And I think a lot of it has to do with coaching. But that's a whole nother story. But Kings are 3-0 versus the Mavs this year. I still have the Kings getting out of this. Anthony Davis, you have the talent to drop 30 plus. I just don't know if the guys around you are going to be able to show up. I think Jason Kidd, unfortunately, has become a lame duck coach. And I do not see him being there next year either, unless they get rid of the GM, Nico, and a new GM comes in and really tries to make amends with Jason Kidd, because I think he's only sticking around right now out of pride. But I don't see Jason Kidd being on the Dallas Mavericks next year. I think he's done. I think he's that press conference after the Luka trade where the look of just utter dejection on Jason Kidd's face said it all. Like, dude, get me out of here. And he's a good coach. So I can see Jason Kidd. There's going to be a lot of openings next year, Jason. So I can see you going somewhere, get the heck out of Dallas. But I got the Kings winning this game. I like LaVine. I like Sabonis. He's a double-double monster if he stays healthy. DeMar DeRozan has something to prove, especially in the playoffs, because, the Toronto experience, he could never get them over the hump. He leaves, and then they win a chip. So I know that weighs heavy on him. So DeRozan, I think he really wants to perform well. I can see them getting out of this and getting into the tournament. So the Kings, they would play. Who am I at here? I just lost my train of thought. The Kings, man, struggling today. The Kings would play the Grizzlies. So, and I think the Grizzlies are done. I think Ja is checked out. So I can see the Kings making it to play Oklahoma City Thunder. So I got the Kings tonight. I just don't think the Mavs have it in them. I don't see them playing to that level where they need to play. I think this is just they want to get this season over with and just crawl in a hole and figure out what they're going to do. I just don't have any faith. Anthony Davis, I could see him getting hurt in this game. This is one of those games where, first quarter he goes down in a heap again, and Mavericks fans just literally give up. So, two great games tonight, guys. Again, I got Heat beating the Bulls. I got Heat going all the way. I got Heat getting into the playoffs. I have the Heat beating the Atlanta Hawks. And then Kings. I have the Kings going. I got the Kings beating the Mavs. And then I got the Kings beating the Grizzlies and getting into the playoffs. So we'll see if I'm right. We'll talk about that on Saturday. Again, guys, join me Saturday at 12 before all the huge WrestleMania stuff going on. So jump in with me at 12. Check out 3 from Deep before you get into the WrestleMania vibe. Join me for my basketball vibe first. I'm gonna have some special guests. We're gonna jump in. We're gonna dissect all the games that are gonna happen. So Friday night you have the 2 play-in games to finish up, and then we'll discuss that on Saturday. So guys, join me on Saturday at 12. You will not be disappointed, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and we're going to dissect and really kind of figure out some of these playoff matchups, because we got some good matchups, man. This is the NBA playoffs, baby. This is it. This is for the chip. You have some young heads and some old heads clashing right now. So gonna be exciting. We're gonna jump right into congratulations. I got some congratulatory words for some individuals out there. I'm gonna give my shout outs right now. First, we're gonna congratulate Joe Dumars getting back into the team basketball mix, being announced that he's going to be the president of basketball for the Pelicans. So Joe Dumars was worked for the Pistons there 2000 to 2014, won a chip in 2004, 2003, was the executive of the year. The knock on Dumars, he had some questionable picks, and he's had some questionable moves that he did for Detroit, especially in the later years. But Detroit now making up for that and getting back into the playoffs. But Joe Dumars from 2022 to 2025 was the vice president of basketball operations for the league. So he's quitting the league and joining the league. So Pelicans, president of basketball operations. Congratulations, Joe Dumars. I hope you can do something. I have a feeling he's going to just empty house. I would see Zion probably not being on that Pelicans team. Try to get some draft capital and some guys for him. So I think that Pelicans team is ready for a refresh. So we'll see what Mr. Dumars can do to that. And maybe he can do some of the stuff that he did with the early Pistons in those earlier years. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And a huge congratulations for WNBA first pick, Paige Buchers, the UConn star, coming off a national championship win. Boom, right into the first round picked by the Dallas Wings. So one of the Dallas teams doing something positive. So I think all those Mavericks fans are going to come over and be Wings fans now. But we will have a WNBA preview coming up soon. My man Podcast Mini and myself love the WNBA. Shout out. And we're going to do a whole show committed to the ladies. So be prepared for that. That's coming in up soon, because in May, WNBA is going to be starting. So Paige Buchers, congratulations. National champion and number 1 draft pick. You can't write a better story for her, man, coming off those injuries, turning around and picking herself up and playing the way she has into a national championship and into a first round draft pick. The number 1 overall. Awesome story. Congratulations. And we're going to do a Vaya con Dios to Mr. Mike Budenholzer. The Phoenix Suns head coach, kind of knew that was going to happen. He was fired after 1 year. 36-46 record. Suns not making the playoffs. The big 3 ended up being 3 big nobodies. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Mr. Booker. Just did not work out, which is unfortunate. Budenholzer is a good coach. 2021, won the championship with the Milwaukee Bucks. What's going to be his next stop? That'll be interesting to see. I'm sure someone's going to pick him up. He is an excellent coach. But guys, I was going through this here, and I got this written down because I kind of couldn't believe this. Okay, the Suns, you guys do some questionable things there in the desert. I don't know if it's the desert heat or you've been messing with the wrong cactus or what it is. You got bit by something. But, man, you have no consistency at head coach. I'm going to read this off because I had to write this down because I couldn't memorize all your coaching changes over the past, and I'm going to go over the years too. All right, so 24-25, you had Budenholzer for 1 year. 23-24, you had Frank Vogel. 2019 to 2023, you had Monty Williams, who should have never been fired. You should have kept him. Good coach. 2018, 2019, Igor Koskov, 1 year. 2017 to 2018, Jay Triano. 2016 to 2018, she got 2 years there on this guy, Earl Watson. 2014, 2016, Jeff Hornacek, 2 years. 2013, 2014, Lindsey Hunter. 2009 to 2013, Alvin Gentry, 4 years. So since 2009 to 2025, your longest tenured coach has been 4 years. You have 5 coaches that only lasted a year. Phoenix, you have a problem. And that's not it. 2009, Terry Porter, you fired him. He didn't even make it a year. And then 2004 to 2008, Mike D'Antoni. You got 4 years out of him. You have to go back to 1974 through 1987. John McClendon did 13 years with the Phoenix Suns. Your longest tenured coach. Your longest tenured coach was back in 1974, 51 years ago. Over those 51 years, you've had that many coaches. Over the past 20 years, you've had 2 coaches who made it to 4 years. Again, 5 coaches only a year, if that. Phoenix, you have a problem. And the problem is coaching. Consistency in the NBA, I know really doesn't exist right now. I know that these teams chew through NBA coaches. I mean, Mike Malone just fired from the Denver Nuggets, literally 2 years coming off a championship. Denver Nuggets, 4th in the West, fired. The NBA has a coaching problem. I talked about this during the Mike Malone episode when he originally got fired. How many coaches in the NBA lose their jobs in a year, between 1 and 3 years? Not given a chance. There's no consistency on a team. They chew through these guys. I'm thinking of just, expectations. I don't think they understand. To build a team, you have to build trust. And as a coach, you come in, you have to build trust with your players. If you don't last a year, how are you going to build trust? How are you going to help the GM build your squad if you don't even give them a year? You just churn through people. Who's going to want to go to Phoenix when you're only going to get probably a year? And if you don't do something, you're gone. I don't know. Phoenix has a great history. Charles Barkley, Dan Marley, some great Phoenix players. Mari Stoudemire, Steve Nash. The Suns have had some great teams over the years. But man, what are you guys doing in the desert, dude? You can't just chew through coaches and expect the impossible and expect to compete. I don't know. Sometimes the NBA, I wonder what these guys, these executives do behind closed doors. Said it before. I think they got their neckties too tight. I think it cuts off the oxygen to their brains. I don't get it. But guys, I appreciate you joining me today. I'm very excited for these playoffs. Please join me Saturday again at 12 noon. Special edition. We're going to have a couple of guests. We're going to talk about all the playoff matchups coming out from Friday night. So Friday, you have those winner go home games. So we'll see who comes out of that. Again, I have the Kings and I have the Heat coming out of it. I think they get the last slots. Let's see if I'm right. I'm 2 for 2 right now. So let's see if I can pick it again. But guys, jump on Boom Broadcasting. It is a very exciting week. Again, we got WrestleMania here. We got the NBA playoffs. It is fantastic. Easter's coming up. Dude, this is the place to be right now. So jump on Boom Broadcasting, like, subscribe, hit me up if you got any questions. And I want to know who your picks are. So, guys, throw your picks up on there. Comment. Let me know what's going on. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you joining me here. I'm Jason Colenso. This is 3 from Deep. And I will see you on Saturday. Peace.